Lamont. I see you, Lamont. Lamont Datway Jones. Raw and uncut.
Yo, 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 yo. What up? What it do, YouTube? Yep, that's right. It's your boy. It's that boy, Lamont. Datway Jones, back in the building. Yep, you heard it right. It's that boy they call Lamont. Datway Jones, back in the building. And with that being said, my people, I just want to thank everybody who decided to stop and rock with that boy, Lamont. That way, Jones, this way. You dig? And with that being said, my good people, topic of discussion is when it comes to the real truths of the world that we live in today. And like I said, my good people, if you are one of my people that's familiar with any of my videos, you would know that I told you guys a little over a couple of days ago that I was coming right back at you guys with the remaining segment to how Dr. Ray Hagins breaks down some of the real truths of America when it comes to who really runs America. You dig? And also the world, if you will. You dig? Which means, or which would also bring me to part 6. Yes, that's right. I had to think there for a minute. Yeah, but this would be part 6 to when it comes to the real truths of the world we live in is. I'm just going to tell you something right now, my people, so you will know if you are familiar, you know, with watching my vids, okay? When it comes to my real truths of the world vids, let me tell you something. They will keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny Rabbit when it comes to me doing parts. Or should I say, when it comes to me just numbering parts, to every part that I do. In other words, when it comes to my real truth of the world vids, my people, I'm gonna bring them at you guys like by the numbers. You dig what I'm saying? Now anyway, my good people, with that being said, before we get off into the sixth, you know, part of when it comes to the real truths of the world vid that I'm about to enlighten you guys on, I just wanted to get something straight with my some of my people that who really rocks with that boy, Lamont Datway Jones this way. Anytime that you see the PayPal link, at the end of my channels, I'm not. Let's get this understood. I'm not bombing, okay? It's just that's just because I receive, you know, donations, and I've had people email me asking me, what, how can they donate to the channel? That's really one of the only reasons why I put my PayPal link or my Patreon link at the end of the majority of my videos. You did, because like I said, donations does help improve the channel, because I remember at one point I was just making just plain videos, but with the help of the certain donations I got, even though I don't have a super huge like subscribe, or should I say followers, but I'm just gonna put it like this: the little few that I do have, a lot of them has been very generous when it comes to their donations, and I just really wanted to thank the ones that have helped the kid out. You dig? Anyway, my good people, with that being said, I'm about to let you guys check out the remainder of how Dr. Ray Hagins was breaking down, you know, when it comes to some of the real truths of the world that we live in, when it comes to the people who really runs America and the world as well. You dig? Anyway, you guys, with that being said, I'm gonna let you guys check out this vid so I can enlighten some more of my people's minds. Then afterwards I'll be back with my ending comments. You dig? So pay close attention. You just might learn something.
See, here's the problem, people. This is the type of control that determines who's going to become the president of this country. It ain't your vote. I'm trying to tell you that. Y'all run out here and getting upset because they ain't counting your vote. If they did count it, it wouldn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do anyhow. This is the type of control that sets and determines the limits of power. This is the kind of control that could strip away any limits of power and make possible a dictatorship. This is the kind of control that's paving the way for a new world order and also a new marking system, which the book of Revelation calls the mark of the beast. Now, if you just look back in history a little bit, you can get an inkling of what I'm talking about. What happens when an oil-producing company decides to withdraw their money from the United States? Well, in the fall of 1978, now mind you, it didn't happen. It was just rumored that it was going to happen. Somebody put out the rumor that Kuwait was getting ready to withdraw $2 billion from the United States. Well, if they had done that, it would have caused the stock market to crash and all that kind of mess. Such a withdrawal would have caused financial panic in this country. And the administration of that day, and by the way, the president at that time was a man known as James Earl Carter. Y'all know him as Jimmy Carter. James Earl Carter, President Jimmy Carter, check this, people, quickly bought up $30 billion worth of dying U.S. dollars on the world market in order to stabilize our predicament. That's why these presidents leave office with such gray hair. When it turned out that Kuwait was not withdrawing its money, it was only a rumor, the rumor touched off near financial disaster in this country. On November 14, 1979, Iran announced, what country did I just say? Iran announced that it was going to pull its billions of dollars from the United States. Same president, President Jimmy Carter, acted quickly. And guess what Jimmy Carter did, y'all? He declared a national emergency. Now, why did he do that? Follow this. Jimmy Carter, when Iran announced pulling its money out of the United States banks, Jimmy Carter declared a national emergency. And you know why he did that? Because the only way that he could freeze Iran's assets, we had to be in a national emergency. Y'all getting this picture now? You can't just go freeze somebody's assets. You have to be in a national emergency to do that. So now here, OPEC, not just Iran, but OPEC, period, is saying we're taking our money out of the United States. If they did that, this country would shut down. Everything would stop. Your lights would go, this whole country would shut down. And I'm going to tell you why the country would shut down. Because this country, is in debt to something called the Federal Reserve. I'll teach on that in another lecture in a couple of weeks. Help you understand that green stuff you got in your pocket is not money. It's a note. It actually says it across the top. Federal Reserve note. I'll teach on that later. So you understand, you can see how big oil controls big banks. and how the two in concert will control the United States economy, and not only the economy, the elected leaders as well. Just for the sake of research, y'all don't have to take my word for what I'm saying. Write this down. Write this down. Write this word. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now, see, how many of y'all remember Desert Storm? Okay, I don't know if y'all ever thought about it, but how in the world are we going to get oil from Arab countries if we're at war with them? Think. So what the United States did is they created this entity called Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That is the oil that we have, or this country has, in reserve while the Arabs and us ain't getting along. While OPEC and us ain't getting along. So that, y'all understand what I'm saying? And of course the prices are very, very, very high because that's reserve. We have to be careful how we use it. Write this down. Al Gore. Have y'all ever heard of him before? Al Gore and big oil companies. Go to the internet and look it up. Let me tell you what you're going to find right off the bat. The Gore family empire. What did I just say? See, people, it ain't about just Al Gore running for president. The Gore family empire holds about $500,000 worth of stock in this company called Occidental Petroleum Corporation. That's why Al Gore wanted to be president. Al Gore wanted to be president because if we had elected him president, yeah, he would say to all of these oil OPEC, y'all get out of here. I got my own oil company. Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion, referred to in the 1700s, talked about this thing. In protocol number 2, it states, and I quote, the administrators, check this out, people, whom we shall choose from among the public, with strict regard to their capacities for servile obedience, will not be persons trained in the arts of government, and will therefore easily become pawns in our game in the hands of men of learning and genius who will be their advisors, specialists bred and reared from early childhood to rule the affairs of the world. That's protocol number 2 of the Protocols of Zion. How do they manage to get such control over the elected officials? Well, you got to understand something. There's an elite power group. Everybody say Committee of 300. I'm going to send y'all on a research project, okay? I'm going to send y'all on a research. Don't just stand up and take my word for this. Y'all go do what I did. Do some homework. Write that down, Committee of 300. Write it down. Pull it up and go read about them. Write down this word, Bilderbergers. Write it down, the Bilderbergers. Go see the influence of the Bilderbergers. That's Bilderbergers. Council on Foreign Relations. Y'all ever hear that? Why y'all think they talking about sending Jesse over to talk to these people? You got to understand something, brothers and sisters. Jesse Jackson is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. He's not just a black man. Somewhere along the line, he lost his focus for African liberation. There was a time when Jesse had an afro with a dashiki standing there talking about black power. Now he done became a member of their program. I pray to God prevent that from happening to me. I'm serious. I mean it. See, you know what happens? People like myself, what they do is they look into your background. And if you got any dirt in your closet, they'll come to you and say, listen, here's what we got on you. Now, you either work for us and do what we want you to do, or we're going to expose you. If you don't have your dirt in your closet, you know what they do? Then they come to you and try to buy you. They come to you and offer you a cabinet position somewhere or an ambassadorship in some country that don't even exist. Have to walk around, see, that's what happened with Andy Young. I don't know if y'all remember this. See, as soon as they killed Martin Luther King, next thing they did was made Andrew Young an ambassador. Had to buy the man out. Members of this international power elite, the Trilateral Commission, the Illuminati, they have the power, brothers and sisters, to directly influence the federal and executive branch of government in ways that nobody else can even come close to. George Bush father got on television talking about, I don't know what's going on. I just came to check on my son. I don't even realize, ain't nobody keeping me abreast of nothing. Liar! Every time the boy gets ready to make a decision, he pick up the phone. Daddy? What do you think I should do, Daddy? Because he's carrying out his father's agenda. What he's dealing with, his father started when he was in the Oval Office. Even politicians with the best intentions and the strongest of wills find themselves virtually helpless against the massive political influence of the financial banking cartels. The power elite are able to influence the federal government through three basic processes. I don't have time to go through all three of them, but the first one is called the candidate selection process. Now see, this is deep, people, because one of the reasons why I have a problem with voting personally is because they won't let me select who I want to run for president. They want me to elect who they select. You understand what I'm saying? And as long as you don't have the power to select, but only to elect two of who they selected, you still a slave. Did that make sense, people? In other words, what they do is they go select two of their boys. And they put both of their boys out here and say, all right, public, now y'all choose which one you want. What difference do it make? Both of them belong to you. The candidate selection process, though the members of the power elite attempt to influence the electoral campaigns by means of finances in the form of large campaign donations, that is the real entity that we have to contend with. In the political system of the United States, the emphasis of elections is not, follow me people, it's not the policies of the political party or the candidate, but the personal image and attributes of the individual candidates. For all intents and purposes, hear what I'm about to tell you. Go do your research, prove me wrong. But for all intents and purposes, the Democratic Party or the Republican Party doesn't even exist. That's just a lie to make the public think they got something to say with what's going on. You hear what I'm saying? One elitist says it this way. Man who's a banker that I knew from New Jersey. He said, the best form of government is to make people think they have a say in what's going on. Isn't that deep? Because if people think they have a say, they'll get more involved and support the program. That's the lie. That's the deception that they give us through what is called the voting process. There are only individuals, candidates, and professionals, consultants, builders, so forth, contractors, doorbell ringers, media advisors, that's all they're concerned with. They're not concerned about somebody who really wants to come in and do the right thing. The reason why the American political system can be in good part dominated by the members of the power elite through large campaign contributions is because the candidate selection process in the American political system is so individualistic and therefore dependent upon name recognition and personal image. So big donors and big fundraisers are held. Y'all be surprised how much money Ronald Reagan made to become president of the United States. Y'all be surprised how much money George Bush made to become president of the United States. And of course, all this money is under what is called campaign contributions. For example, Ronald Reagan in 1966, just after he became governor of California, this company called 20th Century Fox. Y'all ever hear that before? It's a movie conglomerate. 20th Century Fox purchased several hundred acres of his land adjacent to their outdoor set in Malibu. Check this out now. They purchased several hundred acres of his land for $2.8 million. Triple what it was worth. Okay? What's really deep about it is right now to this day, that land ain't got nothing on it but wild grass and trees. Never used the land, but it was money that went into his pocket. $2.8 million for a piece of land they ain't doing nothing with. See, they had to give a reason for giving him that kind of money. So they say, we bought his land. And then they arranged it to where he got $20,000 per appearance just to go around and do speeches at different businesses. That's big money, y'all. Every time he went to speak at a dinner or banquet, he got $20,000. Oh, come on, y'all. Shucks. I wish. Now you see why Jesse tried to run for president, don't you? Shucks. Making that kind of money. Ain't gonna let no black man have that kind of money, though, y'all. Then there's the special interest process. Let me close by going to this last point, the policy-making process, through which the general policies of the policy-making network, which includes organizations like the Council on Foreign Relations, are brought to the White House and Congress. The policy-making process is not as well known or studied as the other different processes used. It appears to be as detached from day-to-day events as special interest programs, completely immersed in them. It appears as concerned with fairness and the national interest as the special interest process seems biased and self-seeking. You ever hear words like nonpartisan, objectives? These are catchwords that they use to describe the organizations involved, and many of its members show their disdain for really helping the public. Brothers and sisters, we are dealing with a situation here where money controls it all. If OPEC is getting ready to pull that money out of the United States banks, and I'm talking well over $1 trillion, isn't it sad, but yet it's realistic, that this government would say 5,000 people just got to die. 6,000 people just have to die. It's easier to kill 6,000 people than to have them take $1 trillion out of this country. In other words, it takes a heartless people to come up with that. But again, brothers and sisters, back what I said last week, it's called crisis creation. You see, people, again, and by the way, in case y'all didn't know it, Bush just so happened to have frozen the bank accounts of these OPEC countries. How do you freeze the bank account except you must create a crisis? want to crash planes into the World Trade Center. You see, in police work, we have this thing called, well, they have this thing, I ain't in it no more. They have this thing called motive, opportunity. All that stuff plays an important part here. What would be the motive of Muslims crashing a plane into the World Trade Center? For what? Ain't got no motive. Because y'all are the devils in the world? Well, heck, we've been devils in the world for the longest. Something had to happen to cause such a tragedy. So, we must stage an event that will be so monumental that it will give the president the privilege and the opportunity to create Emergency War Powers Act. And when the president does that, what does he do? The first thing he does is he goes and freezes these people's assets. You can't pull your money out of this country. And the real tragedy here, people, is innocent people, innocent Americans, are parading down streets, holding signs up, talking about no war, peace, peace, no fear, no fear. We don't want to go to war. That's all smoke screen. But it's deep that when you put human life into a smoke screen to cover your filthy agenda. Who really owns and runs America? The people who got the money. And I want you to know the United States ain't the people. We are broke as we can be. The United States has been broke for a long time. That's why Alan Greenspan is such a powerful man. Alan Greenspan said, y'all need some money? Fine, I'll print up some more money. But you gotta understand, I'm gonna put interest on every, I'm gonna put 32-cent interest on every dollar I'll print up for you guys. So that means every dollar bill that they print, the United States owns the Federal Reserve 32 cents on it. Where are we gonna get the money from? Where were they gonna get $40 billion from? Y'all see our predicament, people? Now that I hope you've learned something in this. Now that you've learned something, go educate others. Because we got ignorant black folk who love their president and are ready to go die for a heartless people. And I know what I'm saying is dangerous, but I got to tell the truth. See, you know, it's amazing, y'all. All my life I was raised saying stuff like, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go. If the Lord wants somebody, here am I. Oh Lord, send me. And all my life, even though I was singing that, the only thing I was going forth and telling was the program that they had programmed into me to program into you. And guess what? That's not dangerous. Of course, you get rich doing that. But that song has meaning when it says, Lord, I'll go telling the truth, even if they don't want to hear it, even if it costs my life. We can say that. Even if it costs my life, Lord, I'm going all the way. Shucks. And we some chicken-hearted folk. I'm a soldier in the army of the... What's your warfare? Look at the person next to him and ask him, what is your warfare? Since you're such a soldier, what have you been warring against since you're a soldier? Got my war clothes on. As soon as somebody lie on you, you're ready to give up. Yeah, buddy. They talk about me. Oh, brothers and sisters, I tell you.
Well, damn. Now, if that wasn't some real truth for your ass right there, I don't know what truth is. You dig? Like I said, whenever it comes to the Lamont Datway Jones channel, don't get me wrong, like I said, I might blog about certain stuff and I might do a blog here and there on the celebrity gossip every now and then, but you can best believe the majority of the vids you will find on this channel will consist of the real truths of the world that we live in. I can guarantee you that. Even if it is concerning any other topic, you can best believe it's going to have some type of factual truth. Like I said, when it comes to the world we live in today, you dig? And when I give it to you, in other words, when it comes to the truth, when I give you the truth, I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. I'm not sugarcoating nothing, because these are some of the things, or should I say, whenever I decide to give my people real truth, when it comes to the world we live in today, these, or should I say, this is the way I'll give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you in a way that the mainstream media, if you will, is not gonna give it to you, man. See, you will never hear these type of things come from mainstream media, because the majority of the powers that be that run these companies, you understand where I'm going with this, my people? The majority of the powers that be, the elites that run this country, they own most of the mainstream media anyway. I've also broke that down in one of my recent vids as well when it comes to some of the real truths of the world we live in today. You dig? Anyway, my people, with that being said, I just wanted to thank everybody who decided to stop and rock with that boy they call Lamont Datway Jones this way. You dig? And also, with that being said, my people, may the Most High continue to bless you and all your families while you're out there on that paper chase, swimming with them sharks, trying to provide for your family during the rat race, you dig? Even though we are going through one of the most trying times of anybody's lifetime, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Which also means what I'm trying to say, my people, is this, which also means if you are one of those people that they are still allowing to work during this epidemic or pandemic crisis that we're going through right now, make sure you guys stay real safe and be real careful and continue to take advantage of that opportunity, because believe me, during these trying, God-forsaken times that we're living in right about now, believe me, you're gonna need every, what I'm saying, like, piece of income, or should I say bread, money, whatever you call it. You're gonna need all the money that you can get right now when it comes to these times we're living in today, you dig? Anyway, my good people, if you like any of my commentary, or if you felt like you learned something, or if you feel like this video enlightened your mind in any type of way, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, you dig? Anyway, my good people, with that being said, till next time, my people, stay tuned. Till next time, my people, peace out.